I will not repeat what my two colleagues already presented as Parliament decisions and Parliament orientations for the debate on the future of the European Union. I might have another aspect for our exchange this afternoon. Next to my mandate in the Parliament, I serve as well in the civil society, and I chair the European Movement International. And I did that all my life, and I was Minister for Environment. I was previously in the environment movement and NGOs. I like civil society because I think politicians need the impetus from the citizens, so whatever issue it is, and this combination of serving in the institutions and being connected to the citizens out there where they are living and working is so important. And therefore, I think the festivity in Rome is a huge opportunity to show our European flag. And as you might know, the European movement with the European Federalists, with the Spinelli group in the Parliament, with many others, we are calling for a March for Europe on the 25th of March in Rome. And I have demonstrated various times in my life for Europe, but it's a long time ago, I must say. The last time I remember was a major demonstration in Nice for the Treaty of Nice, and then 20 years was nothing. The year 2000, now we are in the year 2017, and I think the time has come to go in the streets again and fight for Europe. Because enough is enough. If you see what happens in some of our member states, where the EU and the European idea is really violated by lies, by bad mouthing, by really exaggerating what we have as problems and getting the wrong conclusions, that we have to go back into nationalism, put up border controls between member states of the EU, destroy the euro, go maybe out of the EU, as unfortunately we have seen in Great Britain. So it's time to fight for Europe, and the fight is needed. I was 2 years ago in the Maidan in Ukraine, and it still touches my heart when you saw how many hundred flags, European flags, they had, and some died for the European flag. And, philosopher from Ukraine was saying that in some of the member states, they burned the European flags, the farmers, because Russia put boycott on farm products. So they burned the European products because tomatoes could not be sold to Russia, whereas in Kiev, they died for the European flag because they wanted to live as we live in the European Union, with democracy and freedom and all the rights we have. And that's the difference. The ones are dying for Europe and the others are burning the European flag because they don't like this and that, what is done in actual policy. Now, I see that in the last weeks, especially after the referendum in Great Britain, people are waking up. Things we heard from Donald Trump and things we know from Vladimir Putin. The whole propaganda that is undermining the trust in the European institutions, in the European cooperation. And it is really time to resist and to fight back. And it is a pleasure to see that a couple, a normal family in Germany started weeks ago street demonstrations with that organization Pulse of Europe. And every Sunday, there are 10 more cities where people go out in the marketplaces and have that flag showing. And looking on the elections we still have in this year, I think it's necessary to do it in as many countries as possible. Now, on Monday, and Elmar and Guy are part of it. We created even a new citizens civil society organization called Civico Europa. We worked on this for a whole year, and we presented a 7-pillar concept for dealing with the future of Europe, and I mention only 2 or 3 of them. The first one is democracy, is participation, and I could, of course, join everybody who likes to have the cities and the regions much more powerful, much more empowered in the decision-making process on the level of the European Union, and we have to work on it, because that's what the citizens understand, that's where they feel politics the nearest. And maybe if together we commit ourselves for the next development of the EU, we could do a lot in this direction. As well for the citizens themselves, I'm co-rapporteur for the reform of the European elections, a hard dossier, because we have no European elections, as we know. Yeah? We have 8 national election laws, campaigns, lists. We have no European elections. And the people feel that this is not real, that it is a bit artificial. The second point that we put next to democracy was culture and education. Yeah, if you don't know each other, how can we live very well with each other? And Erasmus for all should be a real program. It would cost us not more than €1 billion. What is €1 billion today? To get not only students, but as well those who work, the chance to go some months till a year to another country and to make their experience. Even the idea that we get cultural checks for young people, that they get an amount of money that can spend as a cultural check to experience Europe. I think we have to connect the citizens with the EU. And not to call about the economy, the social pillar, to avoid tax oases in the European Union and, of course, provide security. Now I would close my intervention, Juncker speaking in this plenary with the white paper, open the debate on the future of Europe. Yep. And this debate is opened at least till the end of this year, where the Council in December should make conclusions. And I would very much invite the cities and the regions, especially the cities, to have town hall debates on the future of Europe, town hall debates, get people together of civil society, and let's deliberate what direction we want to have for our Europe, for our European Union. And I'm very happy that we start, in a way, this debate again and again today on your plenary session. Thank you.